Are there any open cases you can share to the audience about the which is very critical, which is very learnable to the investors?
Yeah, I can share a case because it's public record. We were responsible for the SEC getting involved. It's called the EMCO case in New York City. It's been around. It's quite a large case. There was a total of, it was a case number, I know your assistant told me the case number, 21CV 05350. The plaintiff was Richard Zia, Z-I-A. And this is a case, and it's public information, so I'm not telling you. You could Google it and get it, and it's been going on for years, since 2021. And basically, this is a case where the sponsor was a regional center, the manager, the developer, and he gave no reports to investors, no information to investors. The loan came due. He refused to give any information, and it reached a point where we actually filed a lawsuit on that case, and eventually the SEC heard investors complain to the SEC. The SEC interviewed us and our clients and decided to bring an action. So the SEC took the role, came in, and actually it saved the investors a lot of money. They came in, they froze the case, they froze the money. The properties were operating, which means it was making a lot of money. There was no debt on the property. There was just no accountability. And the case is still pending. They're in the process of selling the property. It's supposed to be sold this year. And the comment we're hearing is the investors will get back all their capital, not interest, but they'll get all their capital back. And that's an example of a case where, fortunately, the project was finished. There was no immigration issue. And the SEC grabbed the assets that were used for personal reasons. They took them away, the toys, you could call it. And that's a case where we're involved in that case. And that's a case where, and that's what it should be. That's where the lawyer is doing their job the right way, because there was no independence. There was no NCE. There was no protection. Nobody was protecting the investor because the one person was doing everything. There was no independence. Now, in today's law, that would never happen, because under the RIA, that would not take place because there's too many regulations. But pre-RIA, that was something that was not an issue. The investors, by the way, did get 526 approvals. A lot got 829 approvals, and they created the jobs. They built the building. They actually finished the project, which was a good news.
So that means
that's an extreme example of a fraud case.
Okay, that means the investor is lucky because the project is complete, and that's
they're fortunate. They are fortunate that the project got completed. Yes,
and that's the real estate. So they have equity, the sponsors.
But the other famous case is a J. Peak case. That's public information. It was Southern District of Florida, where the J. Peak was considered the poster child. It was Vermont, the state of Vermont owned the regional center, and they were using Peter to pay Paul. I mean, they were taking money from what they were doing, several projects. Money was moving all around. They hired a receiver, and the investors got back quite a bit of their money, and they petitioned to get 829 approvals, and I think they ended up getting 829 approvals. There was a problem with job creation, and they went back and they figured it out. But that was pre-RIA.